Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I get to play one of my favorite cards in Magic the Gathering, which is Urza Lord High Artificer. So this deck is a donation deck from a subscriber who wishes their name to remain anonymous, but they said I could refer to them as a resident of Seattle. So our Seattleite has submitted this blue prison deck. So at first glance, this looks like Urza Echo. Like if you just looked real quick and then looked away, we got Chalice of the Void, Mox Opal, Lotus Petal, Mishra's Bauble, Soul Lands, Cavern of Souls, Karn, Urza. Like all of these cards, Emery, are Urza Echo cards. But once you look a little closer at the supporting cast, you realize this is the exact opposite of the Urza Echo deck. This is not a combo deck. This is not a deck that's gonna draw 7 cards at any point. It's not gonna win quickly. This is a prison deck. So we have other Karn, Scion of Urza, as playing support here. This can draw extra cards or create win conditions. And the real core of the deck here, to support the Chalice of the Void that's in basically every Urza shell, is 4 Winter Orb, 4 Tangle Wire. So what's going on here is, as long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap steps. So Winter Orb locks people out of untapping their lands. Tangle Wire. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player taps an untapped artifact, creature, or land they control for each fade counter on Tangle Wire, and it has fading 4. So both of these cards are no strangers to Eternal Magic, but seeing 4 of them in a main deck, especially together, is pretty weird. The plan here is that between Mox Opal, Urza, Lotus Petal, and Emery, we can play under a Winter Orb better than our opponents on average. And then we get to add additional lock pieces or pressure in the form of the Karns or Sai, or generate card advantage through Emery while everyone is stuck playing in the sandbox, basically. Like hopefully nobody gets to do what they really want to do, but we're built to do it better. So within this prison shell, we have the Karn the Great Creator package you might expect. Lion's Eye Diamond can give you a burst of mana. Tormod's Crypt, Liquid Metal Coating, Sorcerer's Spyglass, Ensnaring Bridge, Mycosynth Lattice, and a pair of Walking Ballistas. It's a pretty standard Karn package. The rest of the sideboard is just for Leyline 3 Flusterstorm. We want to make sure we don't die quickly against the cheesy decks, so we can get our hooks in and beat them by being cheesy in our own way. So that's the plan. I love Urza. I'm very excited to do this. Let's play some blue prison Magic. I'm on the play in round 1, and I have a turn 1 Chalice of the Void against a player who chose as their username Combo Man. So let's hope they live up to their name here and just get dumpstered. I have a turn 2 Emery that can reload some stuff. If I find a Lotus Petal or another Soul Land, I can move in on Karn instead. So I've got options here. Let's see if this man is actually about combo. Oh, they have Badlands, so this could be the Epic Storm. It could be Reanimator. It could be Grixis Control for the full juke. I'm gonna play my Emery first, see what happens, and then decide if I want to play this Chalice on 1 or 0. Normally Chalice on 0 is a huge mistake, but if they are actually the combo man, though this Mox Opal in my graveyard does change things a little. Yeah, I want to move in on the backup Chalice on 1. And then next turn I can play Mox Opal out of my graveyard and cast Urza or Karn. And then start beating down. I definitely just play Karn. When I say Urza or Karn, alright, yeah, they're just giving up. The combo man cometh and gets sent away. Alright, so we saw Badlands, which, like I said, could be Storm or Reanimator, and we want Leylines and Flusters against both of those decks. So that's an easy choice. I think that the whole other prison element of this deck, the Tangle Wires and the Winter Orbs, is probably going to be pretty bad here, because combo decks tend to want to play on those sort of small resources anyway. So the question is, do I think one Winter Orb or one Tangle Wire is better to leave in the deck? Or do I want to cut these and just main deck one of these other things? Like, I could just bring in Walking Ballista as another threat just in the main deck to beat down with, because once you lock a combo deck out a little bit, you need to apply pressure or you're not going to win. I'm going to main deck one of these Karn targets, it's that one. Yeah, I don't think I want Tangle Wire or Winter Orb compared to Walking Ballista here. I don't want Walking Ballista, but I definitely don't want those other cards. Okay, so I am on the draw, and they kept 7, and I have the Chalice again, but I don't, like, the only turn 0 play that I would do better with is a Leyline, and I don't even know what sort of combo deck they are, if they are even a combo deck. So I'm gonna play this Chalice game, and just hope I get a turn, I guess, which isn't guaranteed, but here we are. Alright, they're looking kind of reanimatory. Land Grant discarded. Are they playing Phoenix? What's going on over there? I'm sure that's not what they wanted to do. Alright, I want to take a look at the top of their deck, get some information. They have a Bayou. Alright, let's do this again. Chalice on 1. We survived the first turn. Now I need some mana to develop with. Karn is probably a pretty great follow-up for whatever they're doing. Oh, they're doing this. Alright, that's rough. And we're dead. The 2 draws did not yield any follow-up to that. So I was on the draw with a Mishra's Bauble. Like, I could just lose to the Smog right now. Brutal. Alright, well, I'm dead, but I would like to see more of their deck. They're gonna discard a couple cards here. Bayou. And what else you got? And Dark Ritual. Okay, so I'm dead here. Flusterstorm doesn't even save me because of my own Chalice, like if I hit the blue source, so I'm dead. But now I know what they're up to. They've got some sort of Turbo Witherbloom strat going. I'm not sure if the Leyline of the Voids are things that I want. And now that I see what they're up to, maybe Tangle Wire is something of interest. The Witherbloom Apprentice does famously cost 2 colors of mana, which is more than you really want. I'm glad with the Walking Ballista though, because if I just float that in play on 2, they're not going to be able to combo me out. Do I just cut Leyline entirely? Because they do play Faithless Looting, or is that just a loot spell with some upside? Oh, I feel like I'm already where I want to be for this. So, right back in with the same deck. Right, on the play with... I have turn 1 Emery, turn 2 Karn. I'm going to keep this. It's not disruptive yet, but Emery does get to cast spells. And I don't think they're a turn 1 combo deck. Like, based on what we saw, I don't know what they're doing on turn 1. Emery, you can count Lotus Petal for Emery, and then pop Emery for Lotus Petal. So let's get a look here. Faithless Looting. There is a Chalice in the bin, so Emery has something good to do. I just drew Great Creator Karn. That's also a good one. So, planning for the worst here. Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Witherbloom Apprentice, Chain, I'm dead. We know they have this Faithless Looting and they just played a land that doesn't cast it, so they must have other plans. It looks like I'm getting a turn. Alright, so I could just jam Karn, and that does stop Lotus Petal sort of shenanigans. I could get the Chalice into play. I think I want to go for Karn. Just go. Sideboard. So I can wish for the Ballista next turn. I think I want to wish for the Liquid Metal Coating now. That can threaten some serious problems next turn. And I could have gotten Lotus Petal to try to ramp into Mycosynth Lattice, but I don't think that's my plan right now. Oh, that chain is not exciting. But at least I know they can't Lotus Petal to ramp. They do have to Dark Ritual. Oh my god. Did I do it? Did I play around Lotus Petal and straight into Dark Ritual? Please cast Faithless Looting right now. Okay. They tap their green source. So, is this a Phoenix deck? Am I hooked on Phoenix right now? That's also really bad for me. Oh yeah. Should have got the Tormod's Crypt. Turns out, blew it. Ouch. So now what do? I take 6, I go to 10, and they kill Karn. And these Ancient Tombs are just going to finish me off. Yeah, brutal. Oh, they even had the 4th Phoenix in their hand. Okay, yeah. There were definitely other ways to play this hand. If I just cast the Chalice out of my bin, they can't Dark Ritual that. If I get Tormod's Crypt, yeah, I think getting Tormod's Crypt is probably the smart play. I played this like it was a control matchup when I should have respected all the other combos they could have. Didn't I even say in the previous game, like, is this Phoenix? Is that a thing I said? Like, Land Grant should be a smoking gun, and I saw that. Definitely am just supposed to get Tormod's Crypt there, and then I think I win pretty easily. So, I've blown it. There's no way to get to 7 mana to cast this Karn and the Ensnaring Bridge out of my graveyard, and I'm also not even close to under 3 cards in my hand. So, mistakes were made. Alright. Punted that one, but they had the Brewers' advantage of I saw one combo in game 2, and that threw me off the scent of their other combo for game 3, even though I should have known better based on what I saw. Just didn't take the time to process the information. Tormod's Crypt wins that game. On to the next round. I'm on the play in round number 2 with some hateful stuff here. I'm going to keep it. This is... I mean, you don't turn 1 Winter Orb off City of Traders, unfortunately, because I would be pretty excited by that play. But I am going to turn 2 it off of my Island and City of Traders, probably. Unless they're Delver, then I'm just going to die. But Tangle Wire does buy some time against those decks. A Misty Rainforest strategy. Winter Orb tends to be good against those. Oh, change of plans. Doing this first. Always doing this first. Force pitching Force. Okay. So they don't like Chalice, and they have blue cards. That's the information I have so far. Most blue decks don't like Chalice, though, because the reason to be a blue deck is to play cantrips. That one's green, but it's in the same vein. Ooh, they have a Flusterstorm right here in the main deck. What does that mean for me? I don't even know. So if I play Tangle Wire now, I get to time walk them a little bit. I'd have to tap 3 things on my turn. I'd go 1, 2, 3, and then I'd be able to stick the Winter Orb. I think I'd just go for Karn. This prisoning them from this spot doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna get the Liquid Metal Coating again. I know, I just lost a game because I did that. But nothing they're doing indicates that they are a graveyard combo deck of any variety. And Tormod's Crypt is the only other thing I'd want to get here. Uh-oh, are they a combo deck? Am I getting show and told? Leovold's pretty good. A land would be cool. Alright, not a land. So, Leovold means that I don't get to start blowing up their lands. I guess I could. It would just... They'd get to draw cards out of the deal. But I guess I don't care if they draw cards if they're losing all their permanents. Alright, let's see if this works. Yeah, sure. Maybe I should resolve my Winter Orb first. Do I even want to do that? Is that part of the plan? No, I think I need this Psy. Alright, yeah, go ahead, draw cards. I'm gonna destroy at least 2 lands on the way out the door here. They draw so many cards through this. So what happens if I Winter Orb? Actually, maybe I do want to Winter Orb. Because I untap City. They do nothing. Yeah, I think my way to beat Leovold here. I should have done this before they drew 2 cards in case they find a Force of Will. But if I'm gonna prison them out and just ride the lightning here, Winter Orb's gonna be part of the plan. So they can brainstorm this useless Flusterstorm away. Oh, they missed their land drop. That is the window I was looking for. Do you want to take them off blue or black? Unfortunately, this interaction does take them straight out of the brainstorm cards that they just locked. But I think I want to deny them future cantrips more than take them off Abrupt Decay. And next turn I can cast some spells, including a new Karn. Maybe I can deck them with their own Leovold, but this is optional, right? You may draw a card. Okay, fine. Fine. Opponent, you got me. Yeah, if I could have snuck Tangle Wire in there, that would have been nice. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. Maybe they'll just crack off Abrupt Decay on my Winter Orb. That would be great. Ah, they did it! Didn't even want to wait till my turn. They decided to give me all of my mana in exchange for not having to discard. Oh, they're also a Chain of Smog deck. Is everyone a Chain of Smog deck now? Is that just what we do in Legacy? Alright, I'm going to go for Psy into Tangle Wire. I imagine they have a Force of Will by now, but I want to bait it. Yeah, there's that. And then I cast Karn and blow up more of their lands. Is that how we do this? So Opal, Ancient Tomb, Karn. Is that one in? Yeah. Go ahead, draw more cards. This Karn's gonna live a very long time. And I'm not under Winter Orb anymore. You are. Or you're under the coating. I get to cast spells. This is fun. This is good magic. Yeah, so I get to destroy at least 3 lands with this Karn, unless they have some additional... I guess they could Abrupt Decay the coating and take me off of that. Yep. That is what they did. That also takes me off. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Do I want to go for Tangle Wire? I think I do. So if I lead on Chalice, that turns on Opal, and then I get to Tangle Wire. Nice. And then, what's in my sideboard to wish for? Could get Ballista. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could just get Lattice. No, I think I want the bridge. Let's just get this Leovold out of the mix. Looks good to me. Tangle you. So I will stack my triggers so that I fade first. That means there's one less thing I have to tap. And then, because Tangle Wire is Busto, I get to tap the Tangle Wire itself. This Chalice I don't care about. And I guess Island. Since Mox Opal is just an island, that is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And they still have to tap 3 things again, so I'm going in on different Karn. Make a construct. Now we can win the game pretty quickly. I'm going to plus target nothing on this Karn. Time Walk again. Ooh, this is the new Modern Horizons art. Constructs. Alright, now I'm tapping things that I don't care about at all. Tangle Wire's messed up. Oh, so is Urza. Let's see if this gets in. So here's this. Here's this. Attack for 7. Yeah, not bad. Target nothing with this Karn again. Alright, I have a pretty big wall up at this point. They have to tap 2 things again, and I have a bunch of lethal attackers. I don't even want to cast Bridge at this point. I turned the corner so fast that plan was just completely abandoned. That was pretty nice. Who cares about Leovold? Lean in. Let them draw 10 cards if you kill all their lands. I don't care. Alright, so Flusterstorm can protect my important spells from Force of Will if I feel like I want to play that sort of game. But I think this is a matchup where you just submit the same deck again. Though I did see the Chain of Smog, so that combo is in there somewhere. So Blusters have options and Walking Ballista has options. What is not as good here? This is exactly the kind of deck where Winter Orb and Tangle Wire are great. And the sideboard is mapped out in kind of a way where you want your anti-combo cards wet because these are so bad against combo. And that just is not the case here because they're a control deck with a combo in it. Yeah, maybe I just leave it alone. Same deck right back in. Chalice might be worse because we've seen Abrupt Decay and we know they have a combo that costs 2. Though Chalice is an important part of the threat curve, where you get to Chalice on turn 1, then like Sire Emery on turn 2, and Urza on turn 3, and you want to pressure their forces starting on turn 1. Okay, no sideboard, right back in. This hand. I do have a turn 1 Winter Orb, but no lands to speak of. I would keep this hand with Soul Land in it, but this is a mulligan as it stands. I can keep this. It needs a little help, but the upside is there. I like it. Something like Seed of the Synod just sends this into the stratosphere. Lotus Petal also does the trick. It gets my Emery in at least. Yeah, if they counter or decay this, I'm in trouble. But that's alright. So choose target artifact, you may cast it. So you can't put Seed of the Synod in because you don't cast lands. This looks like an Abrupt Decay all day. Yep. Time to draw a land. Alright, I'll take that. As far as non-land cards go, that's one of the better ones. It does get the Mox Opal closer to activation, and hopefully it will mess with some amount of their deck. Or not. Land. We're probably dead now. Yeah, well, you live and die by the Stompy. Sometimes you have a thing you shouldn't have on turn 2, and sometimes they remove it and you lose because you put a lot of resources into it. Land. Shit. Alright. Yeah, we're losing. I guess, I mean, they don't have the Chain of Smog or they would have done it. Go after Opal. Go after Opal. Oh, Snapcaster is even worse. Still, go after Opal. I think our window to win this game is past, but and if they don't come up with anything better, they're out of Tangle Wire range. They can just tap their lands and continue bashing. I'm getting drained by this fair and square apprentice as well. Alright, yeah, this one is just about over. Just put the chain on the stack so I can concede, please. Alright, they had the chain. Alright, I'm done. You got me. Good job. Yeah, so Mist on a mana source. Any artifact turns on the Opal. Any land plays the Tangle Wire, buys a ton of turn, and turns on Opal. So like that hand had lots of upside. It just didn't get there, and I'm not going to be super salty about that. You got to keep hands like that sometimes. Spyglass, does that do anything? I don't think so. The Ballista does check the combo in a way that is meaningful to me. It's just, what do I cut for it? One of the Opals, perhaps? Because drawing dead cards is bad. Every time I draw 2 Opals, I just wish I was not playing 4. And luckily the sideboard lets you make decisions like that. The old double City of Traders, double Winter Orb, no plays hand. So I guess, actually, I can Winter Orb again, Mox Opal Emery. This is not as bad as it looks. This is a weird one, but I'm going to try it. And if they force my Winter Orb, then it's basically just him to Turok. They're on 5 cards. I hope they're all lands that I can lock out with Winter Orb. Really hate leading on City of Traders, but can't play around it. It's so nice when your land untaps. Opal, Emery. That's nice. Didn't have to cast the Winter Orb, so I got to play around Days. I don't think they have Days, but got to play around it all the same. Backup Orb. No Abrupt Decay for you. And I have a backup Emery too. This hand really is just like 2 pair. Just, you're not... No individual removal or discard spell breaks this up. Okay, so they fetched, which means I can pop my Bauble now. Fatal Push, oh no. Alright, tell me about your draw step. Leovold's coming. Alright. It's fine, I'm ready. I got another Emery. That Fatal Push is good though. Hopefully this Bauble draws me something juicy. Another city. That's really close to being a card I'd actually want. Storming in their brains. This Leovold is going to be good if they do find a third land. Because breaking up my bauble land, like they draw a card when I target them with bauble, and I don't draw a card because they have Leovold. And I could stack it in directions where I end up getting a card. Alright, Brainstorm, and they did shuffle. Alright, fair enough. Is it Leovold time? Snapcaster. Oh, okay. They stack their Fatal Push so they can't... Or they stack their... They have Revolt for Fatal Push is what I'm trying to spit out right now. That was smart. Well played. Let's find a blue source and dumpster with Urza. Okay, I'll take it. Blue, blue. Do I think they have days in their deck? It doesn't matter. I have so many cities. Alright, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get a flip. Hello, Sai. Alright. That's how you do it. Oh, my Winter Orbs are tapped. I'm such a dummy. I'm gonna lose now. That is how that card works. Right, I hope the Sai was worth it. Dual decks, Urza versus Sai. Or Sai versus Leovold. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna name Human with this. I'm gonna name Artificer for the... No, I'm gonna name Human. That leaves more questions to be answered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll leave one of them untapped this time. Alright, can't play that. I can attack with my 4/4 though. If they want to double block, lose their whole board, that's a deal. Yeah, so the only creatures in my deck are Emry, Sai, and Urza. Urza and Sai are both human artificers. Emry is a merfolk wizard, I think. Yeah, merfolk wizard. So, Cavern naming artificer, while it is the same as Cavern naming human, it does leave some questions like what other humans might I be playing, which is worth it for me. Right, I'm gonna play the city because like I don't get to play a land with Urza if I play city, but I do get to leave all this other mana up. Yeah, that's fine. We're smashing it anyway. And I can draw one card on their turn with Sai if I want to do that. Cannot draw cards on my turn though. There's also not a window in the Magic the Gathering rules that I can like float mana with my Winter Orb so I get to untap my lands. Because my untap step, where the game would check if my Winter Orb is untapped, it is untapped. And that is how that works, I think. As far as I know. To my knowledge. My expert knowledge. Brainstorm's a little scary, I guess. So I can sack Thopter and Winter Orb to draw a card at the end of turn, but I don't think I even want to do that because the construct is so beefy right now. I don't need 2 Winter Orbs. One of these is free. Like, if they go to, like, Abrupt Decay my construct or something, or Fatal Push it, I can sack it and one of the Winter Orbs to draw a card. Ooh, Baleful Strix is a good one. That does meaningfully challenge my construct. City, please. Karn. Don't mind if I do. So how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could get Walking Ballista. I guess I need to be careful of the Winter Orb. Alright, Force Pitching Uro. That's a deal. Okay, sure. Back for 1. Thopter, keep thopping. They're at 5 life over there. This Winter Orb has been insane. This Winter Orb game plan. So satisfying. Chalice. Yeah. So I can play this. It's basically free. I spend 2 mana to get 2 mana off Urza, and Chalice doesn't care if it's untapped or not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I can flip with Urza and still attack with the Thopter that can attack. Yeah, I'll take that. Keep this one. It doesn't matter. it's not attacking. So get in with Thoppy, and then next turn I can bash with 2 constructs, and they're not going to have enough blockers to get through that. If they have Plague Engineer on Thopter, oh, nope. I don't know if that was a sham concede or a meme concede, just firing their spell into Ponder. But that was a great match. Overpowered the control deck like we're supposed to. Next round. I am on the play in round number 3, and I have a turn 1 Winter Orb or a turn 2 Urza. But I have a turn 3 Urza even with the turn 1 Winter Orb. But turn 1 Winter Orb doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to keep this and play my island. Yeah, just Island Go seems like the right play here. Just dumping this Urza out on the following turn is pretty exciting to me. Please, Cavern of Souls. One-time dealer. Alright, didn't get there. I do get to play around Daze now, though. But I'm playing straight into Mindbreak Trap. If I get my Mindbreak Trap, my Urza Mind broke. If Urza gets his mind broke in game 1, I deserve it. Resolves. You have nothing. Yeah, we're in there. Oh, bummer. They're going to plow it before I get to make mana. It's too bad. I would have also played the Winter Orb here. Actually, I don't even think that's right to do, because then they would... Yeah, alright. That's fine. Still get a 2-2, or a 4-4. Jeez. I was happy with a 2-2, but it's a 4-4. I'm not even all the way convinced that Urza was the right target for that plow, but they might have more than one. I don't know what their hand is. I'll reserve judgment. Really wish I had Flusterstorm. So this hand is a stink fest if I don't find another payoff quickly, or if they answer this construct. But if I just get to smash for a little while, oh nice. Emery was great. Good find. Good eats. A free lunch here. I probably should have let on Winter Orb to save. Yeah, if I Winter... I'm going to try to bait Force of Will with this, and then go for Emery. But I should have done this pre-combat, because it makes my construct bigger. Alright, Winter Orb is in. Here comes Emery. They thought about the Winter Orb for a long time. They might have the Force and just opted out of using it. But, alright, cool. We're in there. The deck's doing the thing. If they flip Terminus, I'm in trouble. Okay, they didn't do that. But now they need 2 plows to answer my things. Like, they can take my card advantage engine offline, but if they do, they leave me with the 5/5 and vice versa. And I get to play Chalice out of the bin next turn. And this deck is not going to want to play against the Chalice, I promise. So they're fetching. They have some sort of 3-drop. I wonder if it's Teferi. That one would make a lot of sense on this board. Yeah, alright. So Teferi can bounce the construct. I guess we're about to see what they think is more valuable. Yeah, just a permanent answer to that construct is really nice. Emery can attack Teferi, which isn't really what I want to do, but I do think it's better than leaving it in play. Alright, so take a chunk out of Teferi. So they're under Winter Orb now. Swords to Plowshares just sets us both back to nothing, basically, but they have 6 cards in hand to my 1. Alright, looks like Emery's going to get to untap and do stuff. Go after this Chalice of the Void. Let's get that going. It takes a lot of pressure off. And I could have cast this off Ancient Tomb and just kept all my lands untapped for next turn, but I think that I don't know if the life points are going to matter much, but I'm not going to use them if I don't need to. Right there. Chugging up the land curve here. They can almost cast a Jace, which is scary, but again, they don't have any lands. Alright, looks like just draw, go. Don't even have a land for me. It's alright, I don't really have anything for them either. I do think that getting Lotus Petal into play is better than attacking for 1. That's just not... Like, eventually I'll draw an Urza or something to pay off with. I guess maybe I should play this second Winter Orb in case they're able to remove the first one. But now I'm all in. These are the cards that I have. They're all the way untapped now. There's the Jace. Please bounce Emery. Bummer. Alright, so they're just Fate Sealing. That's probably pretty effective. But Emery can attack Jace if we want to get into that game. They already know this because they put it there. So Emery attacking Jace makes it takes twice as long for Jace to go ultimate. And eventually they're going to have to bottom something and I can draw a wild card. Smart. It's giving me more Winter Orbs. Oh no, they have a Snapcaster Mage. I'm in trouble. Yep, they're just going to trade off here. Alright, Jace is going to run away with this one. Unless I runner, and they don't have Force of Will. So if their hand doesn't have Force, and then they like bottom Urza, and my next card is Karn, that's how I can still win this game, but this is looking bad. I was able to prison them really effectively, but I couldn't do anything with the time I bought. And that's why I love playing blue-white decks. When I'm on this side of the board, you just will eventually get there. Right, they put this card on top also. I think a Chalice on 2 makes some sense. That stops Snapcaster Mage, and I don't know if they play Predict or Counterbalance or anything. I don't think they're going to need any of it. They just topped every single one of these cards. Nothing good on top of my deck. I wasn't winning anyway. You wasted your Jace. It could have been anything. I would have lost at the same speed. Yeah, they topped one more. It doesn't even matter what they top at this point, because I just lose. Alright, Jace gets to go ultimate, and then the game is over. Exile my deck. Island is now my deck. As well, collect these Magic Online seconds, and I'm dead. Okay. On to the next round, or the next game of this round. I don't think much changes. This is basically the same conversation that I had last time of like, you can see where Flusterstorm would help you force in a payoff spell, and like Walking Ballista is just like a thing you can put in. But Tangle Wire and Winter Orb are great against this archetype. The Mox Opal, drawing 2 of these when we're playing a long game always makes me feel bad. I'm never shy about boarding out Mox Opals. So I think maybe 2 Flusterstorms can come in, or Flusterstorm and Ballista. And just as another way to win the game, if I have them in the prison, is nice. Though, I think it's probably more important that my spells resolve, and that I can protect them. Like, the game 1, I resolved the Urza with 1 mana up. If I could have flustered that Plow, I would have easily won that game. So I think this is where I want to be. Yeah, this looks good. I don't need all of them, just some. I think it's better than the redundant opals. Keep track at home how many times I draw Flusterstorm when I need mana, and vice versa. Let's see if this board plan makes sense. On the play with a hand that doesn't do anything, that's a mulligan. This is a turn 1 Emery if I'm willing to Chalice on 0, which is really bad for me. Ouch, that hurts. Emery is pretty good, but Emery, yeah, so let's think of the next order consequences. So if I use Chalice on 0 to cast a turn 1 Emery, then Emery can't play lands from the graveyard because you don't cast them, and can't cast Lotus Petal because it costs 0. So that's a non-starter. The other option, I guess, is keep this and try to bobble into a land. Like, bobble plus draw step is a land. Like, there's a limit to how low you can mulligan with a deck like this before you're... Because the plan is to just jam crap on the stack until they give up. But I think I should go to 5. Alright. Rewarded with the 5. I have the Cavern, so I can make Psy happen. I think I'm going to ship the backup City and the backup Tangle Wire. Like, I'm just going to keep every unique card in the deck. Or in the hand. Human. Again, for the reasons I described. Drawing a 0-drop would make me really happy. Just something that I can trigger Psy with right away. Alright, this makes me a little... Oh, they led on Island, so they don't even have... The drawing the Seat of the Synod made me consider slowing down a little bit and getting my stable mana under me, because losing City, setting me back that far, is kind of rough. They have the Plow. Yeah, if you have a 0 drop, you can cast it when you have priority, and they don't get to go very far with their... Or, I don't know where my brain went just now. Even if they have the Plow, you still get a Thopter if you have a 0 drop. Alright, so spend this mana only to cast a creature. Okay, so I can't bluff that it's a human. They're gonna know Karn is not a human. Drawing the extra land is nice. Here comes Karn. Ouch, Spell Pierce. This person watches my channel, clearly. This is exactly my kind of deck. Spell Pierce is my kind of technology. I love what they're doing over there. I don't like that it's beating me right now, but I do respect the plan. Luckily, Tangle Wire is the kind of card, it's multiple time walks if it resolves. Bridge me up into this other Karn. That's what I need right now. They did not shuffle their library, though. It's a little scary. Alright, so all your lands are tapped. And then I am going to tap Tangle Wire, Seat of the Synod, and Cavern on my turn. Because that way... Like, I don't have any 1-mana humans, but I do have 1-mana blue spells. Namely Emery. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this card. I'm gonna pop it now so I don't get narcited. Plains is revealed. So they... Alright, so they didn't want that Plains, fair enough. Or just didn't want the information. This is a look, right? Not a reveal? Yeah, it's a look. Okay. They just didn't want me to have the information. Didn't care what the information was. Or did they know that from Ponder? I've honestly lost track. Okay, I do have 3-mana humans in the deck, so I'm gonna leave the Cavern untapped now. Alright, we built this city. They can't Snapcaster Spell Pierce right now. If they have a second Spell Pierce, they deserve it. They built their deck perfectly. But they can't snap it. Force of Will, I'll at least take the 2-for-1 before they get to untap. Alright, the classic brainstorm in response. Let's hope this is out of desperation and that they don't find it. Just let me have my Planeswalker, please. I don't have another plan. The tough question is, if this card does resolve, do I make a construct and start crunching? Or do I start drawing cards? And I think I should start drawing cards. Alright, looks like I'm not going to get the choice. Force pitching Brainstorm. Alright. We're working through their cards. Like, we're getting 2-for-1s. It's just a matter of, can I keep the pressure on? They shuffled their Ponder, or they shuffled their Brainstorm cards, then they cast Ponder. So they're seeing a lot of new cards. This is where the blue decks take off. The early turns can be scary when, like, Cavern is fueling Haymakers, but there's nothing to be scared of once they're Hellbent and you have cantrips and they don't. They did not shuffle their Ponder, by the way. I'm gonna hold both of these because City makes more mana than Island, and if I draw a Sai, I want to get a counter off it right away. But we're definitely in junk time right now. It's gonna be hard to win this game from here. This is where Urza Echo thrives because it can just reload, get a fresh 7 at any given time. This can bounce my Seat of the Synod if they want it to. Alright. Fades, tap 0 things, draw. Ugh. Alright. Yep. Out of gas. The blue-white control decks are literally built to beat this sort of strategy. Like the 1-for-1 and then pull ahead. Nothing really phases them too hard. That's their whole thing. Tangle Wire dies because it's out of fade counters. And my hopes and dreams die with it. At some point I should start playing these lands, probably. But there's really not a reason yet. They can cast their sorceries in the end step. Oh, Shark Typhoon, I'm so jealous. Their deck's so good. Alright, yeah, I'm not beating Shark Typhoon. I can't beat a 5-5. I couldn't beat the Teferi, but definitely not beating this card advantage 5-5. Yeah, no help coming. On to the next round. On the draw for round 4 with this hand that has turn 1 Chalice. If I want it, I have a turn 2 Sai if I want that. A lot of options here. I suspect I'm about to lose my Chalice. This is either Doomsday or Death Shadow. And neither of those want to play against Chalice. Okay, so I'm going to Cavern on Human and pass the turn. The Ancient Tomb was a great draw because now I can sigh and do the 0-drop trick where I get to jam right away. Okay. They are, in fact, Death Shadow. I guess it could be just Grixis Delver. That didn't even occur to me because that's not really a thing these days. But here we go. Stop till we drop. A 1/4 is also pretty hard to kill with these decks. Alright. Size and play now. And next turn I can play Tangle Wire and just get them into the Time Walk. Thoughtseize. Alright, I'm not going to get to... Alright, I guess they probably might have to take Karn even more than the Tangle Wire. We're about to learn how much Vintage this opponent has played. Alright, they took the Karn. So now I get to bury them with... Oh no, they took the backup Psy. Interesting. Why'd they do that? Oh, they must have a handful of counter spells. That's what makes sense. So... 1, 2, 3. Let's see how much respect they have for this. I think they lose on the spot if it resolves. Yeah, they agree with that. And attack, and I can trade with the Delver with a double block. And then I'm just way ahead on board. So we'll see what their last 3 cards in hand are. Okay, Death Shadow confirmed. Alright, yeah, they're not ready to spew off their Delver to remove some stuff. Ooh, that was a bad draw for them. Good draw for me. Field, double Time Walk. Get you out of here. Comes with a Thought Brew attached. Yeah, concede to that one. They have the correct amount of respect for Tangle Wire. I'm not sure every Legacy player would necessarily know what that card is about right off the bat like that. Right, so I think Winter Orb is more of a liability than a help in Delver matchups. Because a lot of the times Delver will play Winter Orb to beat mana-hungry decks like mine. I think if both of us have access to all of our mana and get to cast spells, I'm favored in that situation. So, Walking Ballista for some extra removal in a body and the Flusterstorm to fight over discard spells or counter spells. I think that's where I want to be here. Just the Winter Orbs come straight out. This hand is bad. I have the Cavern and Sigh again, which was the interaction that won me game 1, but this isn't going anywhere. This one is kind of sketch, but I don't want to go to 5 against the Thoughtseize deck. And this has a lot of mana, which is the thing that primarily against Delver decks you really want to have under you. And of course, sometimes you just rip the Sigh like a boss. Right, I'm going to lead on Cavern because if I get wasted, I would prefer that they hit Cavern of Souls to Ancient Tomb. This in the scheme of things that help my deck cast its spells. Ancient Tomb is much better. Ooh, they're getting Sighed again. Alright, so here's a human. Back in the modern day Cart Clan Ironworks days, Sigh was the technology to just crush fair decks. You just got to pivot so hard. And they just had to snuff that thing out. I'll take that. I had the 0-drop. Unfortunately, I didn't have another artifact laying around. Like, I'm 1 artifact short of just casting Emery here. I'm not sure if... Ooh, that was weird. They fetched and then cast Brainstorm. Like, they had the whole thing set up. You're not going to convince me that that was the correct way to do that. A lot of the times I can give my opponent benefit of the doubt of, like, something in their hand indicates that they want to do it this way or that way, but they made the decision to fetch, they made the decision for Watery Grave, they made the decision to have it enter the battlefield tapped, all before they saw what they were doing with their Brainstorm. Alright, Plague Engineer is pretty good here. I'll give them that. Okay, so Seed of the Synod, Lotus Petal, Tangle Wire, and Emery. Let's party. Alright, here we are. I get to cast Chalice of the Void out of the graveyard next turn. All your stuff's tapped. They could kill Emery now before their stuff gets tapped, but I just hope they don't. Alright, Brazen Borrower. That's actually not bad at all. I like that because that refills gets me another hit with Emery. And the cards that I milled weren't going to win the game. They were just going to make it take a little longer. So that's not bad at all. So Brazen Borrower having Flash, they get to use their mana before Tangle Wire tangles them. Oh, they find Thoughtseize. Or Death Shadow. Alright, Gurmag Angler. Sure. Okay, so I have to tap 3 things. Tangle Wire is one of them. Tangle Wire, Lotus Petal, and I think Cavern get the taps. No. Seed of the Synod. Because I could draw a human. And I have an island in my hand that functions the same as Seed of the Synod. Emery go. Oh, they found the Force. Brutal. Force pitching Daze. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna bobble them on their upkeep. So if they draw a discard spell, they can't take the card I'm about to draw. And I have perfect information going into their turn. Jesus, Ratchet Bomb. Luckily, they're about to tap their lands. Ratchet Bomb is terrifying, though. Destroy each non-land permanent. Okay, so that doesn't get my Seed of the Synod. Some cards do get Seed of the Synod and some don't because it's an artifact. So they could have flashed in Brazen Borrower, tapped Brazen Borrower, Underground Sea, Plague Engineer, and had a better clock moving forward. I don't think it's going to matter, but it could have been done. That's a little late to the party. Urza. Bummer. So, 1, 2. I'm at 2 on board with a Ancient Tomb in play. So there's not a whole lot of way forward here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can cast Urza, which makes a big construct, but I'm still dead to the Brazen Borrower in the sky. Yeah, they did a good job delvering me out here. And Karn. Karn would have been solid, except the Brazen Borrower is up there. I guess I'll give them the chance to miss it. I don't think showing them that Karn is in my deck is that big of a deal. Maybe they'll forget about their Borrower. It doesn't look like they forgot. Okay. You did it. Alright. Brazen Borrower's in, and my life total is gone. Does anything change in the sideboard? I could bring in the second Ballista, just as more bodies on the ground that fights Plague Engineer and Brazen Borrower in meaningful ways. In just like the being able to chump a Gurmag Angler for a turn also is not useless. Pretty far from it. All right, yeah. Fewer opals, more ballistas. That looks like a plan to me. On the play, this hand is full of gas. I'm gonna keep it. I get turn 1 Chalice and Emery here. Which one do I want to bait with? I guess I'll lead with the Chalice. The argument to lead with Emery is reasonable, though. They're going to force one of these things. Alright, Emery, let's do this thing. I need you to live, because I don't have a backup plan. Please just cast Delver or Thoughtseize. Alright, I'll take a Ponder. No snuff out, no snuff out. One-time dealer. Alright, we got to the untap step. So, what am I going to do with it? I have to target Lotus Petal because that's the only thing I can cast from my graveyard. Surgical Extraction, huh? Do I care about that? Pretty sure that I don't, actually. In like, at the extent of, or at the expense of my Flusterstorm, is this worth doing? Like, any artifact, any land gets me playing this game again. No, you can have my Lotus Petals, sure. I think this Flusterstorm is better served protecting Emery. Alright, so no plays, pass the turn. Oh, wow. That was a good follow-up. Should have floated blue, too. Just playing real bad all around. They could just go to combat, though, so that doesn't really matter. But, alright. What do I want here? Definitely not that. Jeez. This went to shit very quickly. Like, I thought we were way ahead, and now we're just choking on our own fumes here. Mishra's Bauble's probably my best draw. So they have a Gurmag Angler, so now there's a threat on board. Alright, well, that's the card I asked for. I'm gonna force it. Alright, Bauble you. Delver is coming. Mishra's Bauble. Fire it back. I'll save the second activation until it gets me more information. So they draw Delver here. I got City. So I can use Bauble to turn on the Opal. Does that do anything different? No, I want to cast the Ballista from my graveyard. I want to give myself a chance to play around days too. So I'm just going to draw. Okay, this makes the same amount of mana effectively as City of Traders. That's not true. I lied. So Walking Ballista, because once I cast the Ballista, the Opal will be on. Alright, so here's that. And then probably just want to... Oh, I can Bauble first. Ugh, this is tough. If I Bauble them, I lose the ability to Flusterstorm. But if I kill Delver, which I'm planning on doing, I also lose the ability to Flusterstorm. So let's get a look. Death Shadow on top. Okay, so I am not gonna pop Ballista yet because I'll be able to chump Gurmag and shoot Delver because I know that it's not gonna flip. This game got super tight. I like it. Either way, at this point, we're having a good time. Block. Shoot. And now this Ballista can tread water against the Gurmag Angler for a while, if I determine that's of my interest to pursue. I think that... Can I do better than that? Tangle Wire does better than that. So I'm going to go after Mishra's Bauble. My plan is to bridge the gap into Chalice of the Void with my Tangle Wire. Force of Will would be a huge beating here because that puts them under 12. Alright, Spell Pierce I think is worth the fight. Or I could just hold on to my Flusterstorm. Yeah, I can kill a Walking Ballista. Or kill a Death Shadow eventually. I could just replay this from my graveyard. I'm going to Fluster here. This plays into Daze, unfortunately. But I think this is my best chance to actually win the game. Alright, Day of the Days. Ouch. Alright, fine. I could have played around that specific line by spewing my Opal, but I don't think I had enough information to make that choice responsibly. Alright. Not a fetch land, no problems. Like, what I'm really worried about here is a fetch land turning on Death Shadow. Gotta find answers to this Angler. Alright. Take another spin with the Tangle Wire. So I know 2 of their 3 cards are Brazen Borrower, Death Shadow. There's one mystery card over there. It could be Daze. So what do I do if it is Daze? I'm going to target Bauble first. Cast Bauble. I am going to play around Daze this time. Alright, we're in the prison. Time to figure out what my Tangle Wire is going to tap. If I tap Wire, land, then I don't have to keep my Bauble. Yeah, I think I want to keep drawing cards. Alright, there's a Ponder they're not going to be able to cast. Because I get to play Chalice next turn. So fade to 3, draw, tap 3 things. So definitely Tangle Wire. And then if I tap these 2, if I played around Daze last turn, maybe I should keep doing it. Alright, yeah, I'm going to tap Emery and play around Daze with my Chalice of the Void. Because I know they have Bauble and Death Shadow in hand over there. I just want to start checking boxes. Just remove their outs one by one. And now I'm looping Tangle Wires with Emery as well. Like, as soon as this one gets too low, I'll cast the other one. And they may never take another game action. Which is exactly where I want to be. Game actions are overrated. Here's a win condition. Do they have a Force of Will? They do. Okay, Force Pitching Ponder, you got it. That's fine. Still under the hooks. Alright, so Bauble them again. Ooh, there's the Watery Grave. Good thing I have Chalice in play. Don't have to worry about Death Shadow. But that does give them lines on a Brazen Borrower play. Oh, the Force already put them into shadow range, so that was not actually a huge deal. So drawing cards, alright, yes. Drawing Karn. That's what we're looking for. Just something to do with all of this. This this forward momentum, I guess I should call it. So if I play Tangle Wire, I can also follow up with a Chalice on 2, or a Chalice on 1, a backup Chalice. Yeah, I think just the Tangle Wire squeeze is the way to play this game. Now we're ignoring the Brazen Borrower bounce. They have to tap 5 permanents, they only have 3. I'll have to tap 3 permanents on my turn. The 2 Tangle Wires and a Chalice, then I can jam Urza, or Karn, Scion of Urza. I'm just already planning ahead for when I'm going to draw Urza. Yeah, so this Tangle Wire will die in time for the other one to reset. Right, so I tap 0 things for that one, I tap 3 things for this one. How about those ones? Here's Karn. Did you draw Force? I don't think so. Here is a lethal construct, or very close to it. It's a 9/9. It'll be a 10/10 12/12 next turn. Yeah, this is lethal. That's the game. That's how you tangle. It's the final round. I'm on the play, playing for that positive record, and I have a very respectable hand here. You know, turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Karn or Winter Orb, whatever. I'm going to bobble them before I Chalice. That might give me information about what number I want Chalice to be on. Well, it's a Wasteland deck, so it's either Eldrazi or lands. Like, it's Eldrazi that doesn't care about Chalice no matter what I do, or it's a lands deck or a Delver deck that will care deeply that it's on 1. And they're going to get to waste me, that's fine. Can't stop it, is what it is. Alright, so Wasteland has been used. I still have a Karn next turn, or I could Psy next turn and Karn the following. We'll see how they play it, or what they're doing. If they are lands, ooh, Arid Mesa. I would imagine this is Blue-Red Delver. What deck has Arid Mesa in it in 2021? Right, here's Psy. I've chosen to maximize my Thopter output over playing around Daze. I could do one or the other, but not both. But I was not going to jam my Karn into Daze if it cost me Lotus Petal. So, here we are. Oh, maybe this is Goblins? Is that what they're doing? That deck does play Wasteland and Arid Mesa. Okay, I'm going to operate as if we're playing against Goblins until I'm convinced otherwise. It's also a deck that is affected by Chalice of the Void. I am more interested in this Karn than this Karn right now. The Karn I just drew is more exciting than the one I already had, in my opinion. Whatever this red deck with Wasteland in it is, just having a parade of large idiots in play is going to be valuable. I don't think there's anything Goblins could do in combat right now. And like, I guess if they're Blue-Red Delver, they could... I don't know. I'm going to stop speculating on what could happen until my opponent shows me at least what deck they're playing. But I do think it's Goblins at the moment. And their hand is just a bunch of lackeys and Aether Vials. Bummer. Wasteland. If only I had 3 busted permanents in play already. You got me. Oh, that was Arid Mesa, not Wasteland. Assumed it was going on the stack. Alright, time to cast spells. This is where I lose to Reanimator. No, Goblins confirmed. I am shocked. So, I would love to draw a mana source. That'll do. I guess I didn't really need that mana source because Winter Orb is going to be way better for me than Karn is in this spot. So I'm going to make another construct. I'm going to play Winter Orb. That's going to make another Thopter. My things are going to be huge, and they're never going to untap any of their stuff. And they're going to be dead way before they get to play this game. That sounds good to me. Yeah, I like that. And then next turn I can cast Karn and just wish for any random 0 drop. And that puts another artifact, 2 more artifacts into play. Trying to think of what the worst possible outcome here is. And yeah, nothing. Nothing at all. They conceded is the answer. So we're playing against Gobos. Walking Ballista, excellent card here, of course. Ensnaring Bridge likely to matter, but not as much as you might think. because Goblins is very good at destroying artifacts just naturally in the course of their existence. It's kind of their thing. And I do actually think that having more ballistas in my main deck, like as many as possible to draw, is better than being able to wish for one with Karn, because that's a 6 mana play to remove 1/1/1. And I feel like that's asking a lot out of this deck. In a matchup like this, at least. So I'm definitely cutting 1 opal, and maybe I cut 1 orb. Because there's games where they'll have Aether Vial, or they'll be controlling me with Port and Wasteland, where Winter Orb's going to hurt more than it helps. But there's also games where Goblins becomes extremely mana hungry, and the games go long. So we'll see. Also, Walking Ballista will not help me kill a Goblin Lackey if it's in my sideboard. Like, they're on the play this game. I don't get to Chalice. Alright, so this hand loses, or it doesn't lose to Goblin Lackey, because I can play Chalice of the Void on 0 Seed of the Synod and have a 1/2 blocker. So I'm not dead to Goblin Lackey, and if they don't have Lackey, I can make a Chalice. I'm not excited about this hand, but it does check the very important box of not dead to Goblin Lackey on the draw. Let's see if that matters. Hey. Alright, now it's time to draw a Bauble or Lotus Petal, so I don't have to waste this Chalice. We didn't get there on that one. Now it's time to never draw a Bauble or Lotus Petal because of Chalice. Right, Walking Ballista's in the bin. That was literally the best hit. They'll need something like Tarfire. I don't like something to clear this Emery this turn, because Gem Palm Incinerator doesn't do it right now. Oh, backup. This Walking Ballista is gonna go coast to coast. Alright, well, drew the Mox Opal I wanted last turn, but mostly fine. As long as they don't Surgical Extraction me. So that's a start. I can currently block 1 Lackey and shoot the other, but if they have any way to buff them, or that they can kill Ballista before they attack, that all blows this up. But I think this was the best play I had available to me. Next turn I can Ballista for 2 out of the graveyard. So that is my current plan. Alright, cool. Nothing horrible happened to me before blocks. Hope they don't have a way to pump this thing. Alright. Lackey doesn't have trample, luckily. Card's good enough. Just carefully treading water here. Right, Karn will eventually shut down Aether Vial. Port is really good in this spot. Yeah, they should definitely port me. They don't know that I have the city imported. I am going to continue to hide the city from them, and also just sequence my lands in a way that makes more sense. So, Walking Ballista, you're coming back in again. This tenuous control over this game. I'm just going to fire off now. I'm not messing around with that. And then next turn, I should be able to Urza plus Winter Orb, and then they're going to be all in on Aether Vial. Yeah, we do here. Yep. City, Urza, and I guess Ballista is still better to cast than Orb, though it's kind of close. They could cast like Siege Gang Commander, Trash Master. I guess I can wait for them to tap a little lower before I worry about orbing them. Like right now I'm just controlling 1 mana when I could get a lot more if I wait. Alright, here we are. Survived this game on the draw. Went all in on that that turn 1 Emery play, and now Chalice of the Void is here as serving as Mox Sapphire, reprising the famous role Mox Sapphire. Oh wow, they really just have nothing over there. Porting me 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to beef up Ballista. I think it's going to be more useful as this pinging party than anything else it could be doing. Winter Orb, is it time for you? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Guess I could Chalice on 1 and then still Winter Orb. They have the cavern now, so that's not as good as it was a turn ago, but it's still not bad. And I'm just leaning into thinking that Urza's gonna beat Aether Vial. Oh, I guess also Ballista's in play. So the whole squad can just attack, right? Maybe I'll hold back with Emery. Dear sweet fragile little Emery. Yeah, and then Winter Orb plus Tangle Wire should shut this game down. They left their port tapped. I'm already porting everybody. No reason to do that anymore. Just passing the turn again. I'll take it. I get to cast Tangle Wire. It's okay to concede to this. It's very, very bad for you. But the number of players who have conceded to Tangle Wire is really refreshing. I haven't played with this card. It's been way too long since I put this card in a deck. Just in play now. Alright. So attack, attack, attack. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a lethal attack. There are 3-dropped goblins they could ambush in on me, but I think it's okay. Like, oh, pyrokinesis. Let's lighten up, my boy. Sure. Pitching Muxus to do it. You got it. That was actually close. They were almost on Muxus mana. But now they're on nothing ever. So they're going to tap 4 of these permanents, and then they'll probably leave up Cavern, because that's the one that can cast a spell through Chalice if they do draw a 1-drop. Oh, they're tapping the Aether Vial. That's surprising to me, and I disagree with it. Obviously, I don't know what their hand is, but I think just in general of the possible top decks that might pay you off here, and the Vial's about to go up to 4 also. They're thinking pretty hard about this Tangle Wire. Because I don't know what the outs in their deck are, but I'm pretty sure Aether Vial is involved in that calculation somewhere. Okay. Aether Vial's tapped. And the game is over. Put up that positive record with Urza Prison. So that was a lot of fun. We lost to combo deck that Chalice didn't line up well against. When the combo decks payoffs all cost 2, that's rough. And I forget what else we lost to. Something that we bricked out on. Oh, they have blue-white control. Yeah, they're just made to be rock solid, stable. They never lose to any individual spell or permanent. So they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and so did the bug Witherbloom deck. And then we beat a different Witherbloom deck. Oh no, we lost. What, that one loss I forgot. I now remember. It's been so long. We lost to the Phoenix plan in game 3 after we lost to the Smog in game 2, when I could have played around Phoenix by wishing for Tormod's Crypt. So this could have reasonably been a 4-1 league, and that's a good showing. Like, it's nice when you're able to identify the specific mistakes you made. Like, okay, it's not the deck's fault. I just wasn't good enough in that moment to play it. So I think this is sweet. Looping Tangle Wires with Emery, my god, I didn't even think about doing that in the deck tech part until it was like in front of me in game, and realized like, oh, they're never going to take another game action because I can just cast Tangle Wire every 3rd turn. Like that's nice. So I do like what this is doing. I think this is proof of concept that this core, the Karn, Urza, Sai, Emery, Mox Opal core, is powerful enough that you can do basically anything. Like, you could fill in the other 12 slots in the deck with whatever you want, because that's really powerful. And it's fun that my opponents probably thought I was Urza Echo, and then it's just like, bam, Winter Orb, Tangle Wire. JK, I'm not doing that at all. I'm over here now. So that's a lot of fun. This deck was a lot of fun. Thank you, Anonymous Benefactor, for sending me the list. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment what you think about the deck, what you think about improvements, etc. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next video.